Ever wonder how we navigate like tricky situations or like make those, those tough decisions?
Yeah,
It's all about reasoning,
it is.
you
Yeah,
know? And we use it every day from like figuring out why your car won't start to like, I don't know, picking what to eat for dinner.
absolutely.
But today we're taking a deep dive into the world of reasoning,
Yeah.
how our minds do it,
Yeah.
and how artificial intelligence AI is
Yeah.
trying to catch up.
Yeah, it's it's pretty fascinating how often we use reasoning without even realizing it. It's like our brain's on autopilot,
Yeah.
constantly working, behind the scenes to
Yeah.
make sense of everything.
Totally. And like, did you know that there are actually different types of reasoning?
There are.
Like our sources break them down into like deductive, inductive, and abductive reasoning.
Yes.
It almost sounds like a magic spell.
It does kind of, but these spells are actually the fundamental building blocks of logic.
Okay.
So, let's start with deductive reasoning,
Okay.
which works like like a recipe. You start with general principles,
Uh-huh.
add some specific observations, and then boom, guaranteed conclusion every time.
So like if I know that all dogs bark and my neighbor has a dog, I can like deduce then that their dog also barks.
Precisely. As long as your initial principles are true, the conclusion has to be true.
Yeah.
It's foolproof.
So it's like a guaranteed formula for truth.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But like what about situations where things aren't so clear cut?
Yeah.
Like say I've only ever seen green apples.
Right. Well, that's where inductive reasoning comes in.
Okay.
Instead of absolute certainty, it's about drawing probable conclusions based on your observations.
Okay.
So you might assume that all apples are green until you encounter a red one,
Right.
and then you expand your understanding.
So it's like learning from experience and you update your beliefs as you go.
Exactly.
What about those aha moments where you like piece together clues to solve a mystery?
Right. Well, that's abductive reasoning.
Yep.
So imagine you find your house unlocked.
Right.
You might conclude that you just forgot to lock it,
Yeah.
but maybe someone else has a key.
Oh.
It's about finding the most plausible explanation, even with incomplete information.
So it's like our brains are playing detective,
Yeah.
weighing different possibilities and
Yeah.
making those educated guesses.
Yeah.
So we have these three powerful tools.
Yes.
Deduction, induction, and abduction.
Mm-hmm.
And we often use them together to navigate these really complex problems.
Exactly. It's like having a mental toolkit with different reasoning instruments for different situations.
Yeah.
Now, the really mind-boggling part is that AI is starting to show these reasoning skills too.
Hold on.
Yeah.
AI can reason.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a uniquely human ability?
Well, it was once considered that way.
Okay.
But with what we call large language models, or LLMs,
Right.
AI is starting to venture into the realm of human thought.
Okay.
These LLMs are essentially powerful algorithms
Okay.
trained on massive data sets, allowing them to recognize patterns and learn from context.
So it's like they're absorbing all this information and
Mhm.
using it to like make these inferences and draw conclusions, almost like how we do.
Exactly.
Okay.
LLMs are demonstrating various types of reasoning, including deductive, inductive, and even abductive reasoning to a certain extent.
Wow.
They can solve logic puzzles, they can exhibit common sense, they can even tackle mathematical problems.
Wait, AI doing math?
Yes.
That's impressive. How do they do that?
It still feels like magic to me.
Well, the magic lies in their ability to recognize those complex patterns within the data they're trained on.
Okay.
Imagine them as like master puzzle solvers.
Uh-huh.
They piece together information to form a coherent picture.
So they're finding those hidden connections that we might miss.
Yes.
But aren't they limited by the information that they've been exposed to?
Well,
Can they really understand all the nuances of the real world?
that's one of the biggest challenges in AI reasoning right now.
LLMs operate on symbolic representations of information.
Yeah.
They don't have real-world experiences and the physical embodiment that shapes our understanding.
So they might be really good at logic puzzles, but they wouldn't know what to do if they had to bake a cake
Right.
or comfort a crying child.
Exactly. They lack that intuitive real-world understanding that comes from interacting with the world through our senses and emotions.
This is all incredibly complex.
Yeah.
But it's really fascinating to see how AI is trying to mimic our cognitive abilities.
Uh-huh.
What are the implications of AI becoming more sophisticated in its reasoning?
Well, it's a question with far-reaching consequences. As AI evolves, we really need to think about its impact on our lives.
Yeah.
From the future of work to, like, even the very essence of what it means to be intelligent.
It's exciting and a bit daunting to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Before we get too carried away with the future, let's dive a little deeper into how these LLMs are actually achieving these reasoning feats.
Yeah.
What are some of the techniques and approaches that are driving this progress?
Well, we've talked about pattern recognition, which is a key element.
Yeah.
But there's also this fascinating technique called chain of thought prompting, which really helps us understand how LLMs arrive at their conclusions.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this chain of thought prompting. How does it work?
So imagine asking an LLM to solve a problem, but instead of just giving the answer, you prompt it to explain its reasoning step by step.
Okay.
It's like asking them to show their work, revealing the logic behind their conclusions.
So it's like peeking into their thought process, understanding how they connect the dots.
Yes.
Why is this so important?
Well, it's crucial for several reasons.
Okay.
First, it helps us build trust in AI's reasoning abilities.
Okay.
By understanding how they arrived at a conclusion, we can identify potential biases or errors in their logic.
That makes sense. We need to know that they're not just like spitting out random answers.
Right.
That they're actually like reasoning through the problem logically.
Exactly. Second, chain of thought prompting can actually improve the accuracy of LLM reasoning.
Okay.
By breaking down a complex problem into smaller steps, it guides them towards a more structured and methodical approach.
So it's like giving them a mental framework to help them organize their thoughts.
Yeah.
And arrive at a more like reliable solution.
Exactly. And finally, it helps us understand the limitations of LLM reasoning.
Okay.
By seeing where they struggle or make mistakes, we can identify areas for improvement and develop more robust AI systems.
This is all so fascinating. It's like we're witnessing the birth of like a new form of intelligence.
Yeah.
One that has the potential to revolutionize the way we solve problems, make decisions, and even understand the world around us.
Yes.
But before we like dive into the broader implications of AI reasoning, let's take a closer look at some of the specific types of reasoning that LLMs are demonstrating.
Right. We've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
It's time to delve into the world of LLM reasoning and explore the different ways these models are challenging our understanding of what it means to think and reason. It's pretty mind-blowing to think that these LLMs are demonstrating, such a range of reasoning skills.
Yeah.
It's like they're unlocking different levels of intelligence.
Okay, let's unpack these levels. We've touched on a few, but what are some of the key types of reasoning that LLMs are like showing us?
Well, we've already discussed, deductive reasoning, where LLMs can follow a set of rules to arrive at a logical conclusion. It's like they're mastering, those classic logic puzzles we humans grapple with.
So they're like superpowered Sudoku solvers.
Yeah.
But what about common sense reasoning? Can AI really grasp those everyday unspoken understandings that seem so intuitive to us?
It is a tricky area, but LLMs are making progress by analyzing vast amounts of text and code. They're gleaning insights into how things work in the real world, how people interact, and even those unwritten social rules we take for granted.
So it's like they're learning the nuances of human behavior just by absorbing all this data.
Yeah.
That's pretty fascinating.
It is.
But can they really understand concepts like cause and effect?
Yes, and this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
LLMs are beginning to identify cause and effect relationships within the information they process. They can see that certain actions lead to specific outcomes.
Okay.
Which is a crucial aspect of how we understand and navigate the world.
So they're not just memorizing facts,
right,
but starting to grasp like the underlying connections between events.
Yes.
That's a huge step towards like genuine understanding.
It is. And this ability to understand cause and effect has significant implications for fields like medicine, engineering, even economics.
Wow.
Imagine AI systems that can accurately predict, the consequences of our actions, helping us make more informed decisions.
Okay, that's starting to sound a bit sci-fi, but in a good way. It seems like the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
But what about those aha moments? The leaps of logic that we humans sometimes make. Can AI really do that?
That's where abductive reasoning comes in.
Okay.
And it's one of the most challenging forms of reasoning for AI to really master.
Right.
But LLMs are showing a nascent ability to perform this kind of reasoning, generating plausible explanations for observed data or events, even with limited information.
So it's like they're becoming mini detectives,
Yeah.
sifting through clues and coming up with the most likely scenario.
Exactly. It's still early days for abductive reasoning in LLMs,
Okay.
but the potential is enormous.
Yeah.
Imagine AI systems that can diagnose diseases, troubleshoot complex systems, or even come up with creative solutions to problems,
Wow.
all based on their ability to make those insightful leaps of logic.
It's mind-blowing to think that machines might one day possess that kind of intuitive problem-solving ability.
I know.
But let's get back to the basics for a moment. How do these LLMs actually achieve these incredible feats of reasoning? It still feels a bit like magic to me.
Well, the magic lies in the combination of massive data,
Uh-huh.
sophisticated algorithms, and some pretty clever techniques.
Yeah.
We've already talked about pattern recognition,
Yeah.
but there's also this fascinating concept called in-context learning,
Okay.
which allows LLMs to go beyond, just general knowledge
Uh-huh.
and tailor their responses to the specific situation at hand.
Okay, so they're not just spitting out pre-programmed answers.
Right.
They're actually thinking on their feet
Yeah.
and adapting to the conversation.
Yes.
That's impressive.
It is. And it's this ability to learn and adapt in real time that makes LLM reasoning so powerful and versatile.
Yeah.
Remember that chain of thought prompting we discussed earlier?
Yes.
That also plays a really crucial role in helping us understand and refine how LLMs reason.
Right. It's like asking them to show their work,
Yes.
to reveal their thought process step by step. It not only helps us identify any potential biases or errors,
Right.
but also makes their reasoning more transparent and trustworthy.
Exactly. It's like having a window into their minds, allowing us to see how they connect the dots and arrive at their conclusions.
Yeah.
But as amazing as all this progress is, it's important to remember that AI reasoning still faces some significant challenges and limitations.
Okay, let's talk about those challenges.
Okay.
What are some of the hurdles that researchers are grappling with in this field?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is that LLMs still lack real-world understanding.
Okay.
They're incredible at processing language and symbols,
Uh-huh.
but they don't have that same grounding in physical reality that we humans do.
So they might be able to write a beautiful poem about a sunset,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't actually understand what it feels like to experience a sunset firsthand.
Precisely. They don't have those embodied experiences, those interactions with the world through our senses and emotions
Right.
that shape our understanding and inform our decisions.
It's like they're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle,
Yeah.
that connection to the real world that makes our reasoning so rich and nuanced.
That's a great way to put it. And this lack of real-world understanding can limit their ability to reason about certain aspects of the world,
Yeah.
especially those that involve physical interactions, emotions, or subjective experiences.
It seems like we're constantly pushing the boundaries of what AI can do,
Yeah.
but there's still a gap between artificial intelligence and human intelligence.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, how are researchers trying to bridge that gap? What are some of the exciting new developments in AI reasoning that are pushing the field forward?
That's a great question, and it leads us to the cutting edge of AI research, where scientists and engineers are developing new techniques and approaches to enhance the reasoning capabilities of LLMs.
Okay.
They're exploring ways to incorporate real-world knowledge, improve common sense reasoning, and even tackle those more complex forms of reasoning like abductive reasoning, which still pose significant challenges.
It sounds like there's a lot of exciting work happening in this field.
There is.
But before we delve into those groundbreaking developments, I'd like to take a step back and consider the broader implications of all this progress.
Okay.
What does it mean for us as humans to have machines that can reason, perhaps even rivaling our own cognitive abilities?
That's a question that goes far beyond the technical realm and touches upon the very essence of what it means to be human.
Yeah.
As AI continues to evolve, we need to have thoughtful conversations about its role in our lives, its impact on society, and the ethical considerations that come with creating machines that can think and reason. It really is a profound question. As AI systems get more adept at reasoning, we're forced to confront, our own assumptions about intelligence and what it really means to be human.
It's like AI is holding up a mirror, making us question our unique place in the world.
Yeah.
And it's not just about raw intelligence, is it?
No.
There's also the question of consciousness, emotions, creativity, those intangible qualities that really seem to set us apart.
You've hit the nail on the head. While AI excels at logic and pattern recognition,
Yeah.
it struggles with those, subjective experiences that shape our understanding of the world. Can a machine truly grasp the beauty of a painting or the joy of shared laughter?
Right.
These are questions we're still grappling with.
It seems like there's a fundamental difference between processing information and truly experiencing it.
Yeah.
Feeling it in a way that shapes our perceptions and decisions.
Exactly, and that's an important distinction to keep in mind. AI reasoning, as advanced as it is still a tool. It's a powerful tool that can augment our abilities, but it's not a replacement for human intuition, empathy, or the complex interplay of emotions and experiences that make us who we are.
That's a reassuring thought.
Yeah.
It's not about AI taking over.
No.
It's about finding ways to collaborate and leverage the strengths of both human and artificial intelligence.
Precisely. Imagine a world where AI assists doctors in making diagnoses, helps engineers design more sustainable cities, or even inspires artists with new creative possibilities. The potential for positive impact is enormous.
It sounds like a future where AI empowers us to solve some of the world's most pressing challenges.
Yeah.
But with such potential comes great responsibility, right?
Yeah.
How do we ensure that this powerful technology is used ethically and responsibly?
That's a crucial question. We need to establish clear ethical guidelines for AI development and deployment.
Right.
These guidelines should address issues like bias, transparency, and accountability,
Yeah.
ensuring that AI systems are aligned with human values and used for the benefit of society as a whole.
It sounds like we're entering a new era,
Huh.
one where we need to rethink our relationship with technology.
Yes.
It's not just about what AI can do for us,
No.
but also about how we shape its development and guide its impact on the world.
Absolutely. We need to have these open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI, involving not just researchers and developers, but also policymakers, ethicists, and the public at large.
It's like we're all in this together, navigating the uncharted waters of a future where intelligent machines play an increasingly significant role.
Yeah.
And while there are certainly challenges ahead, there's also immense potential for positive change.
I'm incredibly optimistic about the future of AI reasoning. I believe that if we approach it thoughtfully and responsibly, it can be a powerful force for good, helping us to create a more just equitable and sustainable world.
This has been a really incredible deep dive into the world of reasoning, exploring this fascinating interplay between the human mind and the just remarkable advancements in artificial intelligence. We've covered so much, but I feel like we've only just begun to scratch the surface.
That's the beauty of this field. There's always more to learn, more to explore, and more to discover as we continue to unravel the mysteries of intelligence, both human and artificial.
As always, we want to leave our listeners with something to ponder.
Okay.
If AI can learn to reason, does that change our understanding of what it means to be human? Is intelligence something that can exist beyond the confines of our biology? These are questions that will continue to challenge and inspire us as we journey further into the age of artificial intelligence.
That's a question I encourage each of you to consider.
Yeah.
Because the future of AI is ultimately intertwined with the future of humanity.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of reasoning. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those questions flowing.